Oh, yeah. And just like that, we are back in business for another wow. Before I was rudely interrupted by my own watch page, as I was saying, welcome to another edition of Wild Wacky Wake 'em Up Wednesday. And I am your host, the one and only Jake the Awake. Here we are again, another Wednesday, y'all. Another Wednesday. Are you guys ready to have some fun tonight? I got a good show lined up for you. I know I say that every week, but I mean it every week, right? And I believe I do deliver every week. So, how have you guys been? Tough times out there, huh? You guys ready to have some fun? I see I got Suzette in here. She's ready. Dab 2172 is ready. Rose is here. She says Nate X. I guess she's saying hi to Nate. Big Money Bob, who's been coming in with some gifted Jake the Awake memberships tonight already. And he says, Big Money Bob says, he says, was it? Up. It's like I take years off my life each time I do that. One of these days I'm gonna wuzz up and kill myself. It takes a toll on the soul to do that. It does. I don't know how many more I got left, but you guys got lucky. You got one out of me. Best damn was up you ever heard. 6 ways from Sunday. All right, there you go, Big Money Bob. And that's for those gifted memberships that you bought tonight. I see that Big Money Bob has already purchased like 15, 20 gifted memberships or more. The dude's a legend. I can't believe he does it. He's really awesome. He's like the reason why I have members at this point. And you members get to enjoy the Fittest Flat Earther parodies, which are going to be exclusive for members until I decide to show them during a live stream. All right. Which tonight I'm thinking I'm going to show one of my members only Fittest Flat Earther parodies tonight because I'm feeling like I'm in a good mood. And I'm going to bust that guy's balls later tonight. So, all right, let's get this party started. So, had some super chats come in before the show even got started. And we're down here. So, in order for me to show them to you, there they are. All right, so Rye coming in with the first super chat, and this came in like an hour and a half before the show even started. So it's not even showing up in my streaming software. So I got to show it to you this way instead. Rye says, Fittest Flat Earther goes on Roseanne and Richie from Boston's podcast, drunk, and goes on a rant about Jake the Awake. Richie from Boston offers him some organic Bible vape juice. He takes a hit and relaxes. All right, going to get started with some multiple impressions rolled into one for RY, who is a very generous supporter of the channel. Let the games begin.
Hello, greetings, welcome to all of the Nephilim and the Anunnaki, like all of the high vibrational life forms that showed up here.
Yes, exactly, Rosie. We have a very wonderful podcast for you. This is one of the only podcasts where real, genuine people, we get together and we talk about real, genuine truth. And I am very excited because tonight's guest needs no introduction. In fact, I'm a big fan of his work. You probably have seen him on social media, whether you wanted to or not. None other than the Fittest Flat Earther, Tyler Hansen.
Thanks, Richie. Thanks, Rosie. Glad I could come on. The Heavenly Father has blessed me with the ability to see through these fallen angels' deceptions. And lately, I gotta say, I've been feeling a bit depressed because there's this troll online, calls himself Jake the Awake, and pretty sure he's one of these fallen angels because he's been telling lies about me. And he's been doing a bit of shape-shifting, a lot of demonic things. And I gotta be honest, I had a few alcoholic beverages tonight because I wanted to enjoy coming on this podcast. But really, I think what's happening is the Heavenly Father sending me these urges to end the life of Jake the Awake.
That doesn't sound like the alcohol talking to me, and it also does not sound like the Heavenly Father. What that sounds like is that you have been infested, of course, by Chinese nano drones, and this is one of the demonic side effects. It makes you want to kill innocent people. At any rate, I digress. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to vape some of my 100% pure organic Bible vape juice.
Yeah, because it totally cured all of the nanobots in my ass.
That's right. It cured all of the nanobots inside Roseanne's ass. So therefore, it is guaranteed to work for you.
Nope. I still want to end the life of Jake the Awake. This is pretty good, though.
All right. What a way to get us started. Fittest Flat Earther, Roseanne, Richie from Boston, Bible vape juice. And only who could make this happen. Only one man can bring these ideas to life in this way. And that one man, you're looking at him. The only one in the world who dares do this. That's right. It's bravery, what I'm doing here. All right, Moon Henry just roasted Fittest Flat Earther coming in from Dcran 4D. All right, I'll show the Moon Henry video shortly, or a piece of it. Once we get into roasting this Fittest Flat Earther character, I'll show a bit of the Moon Henry video. Thank you, Dcran 4D. I didn't know who that was, so I had to go check that out just before the show started. RY with another super chat. He says, Land on the Moon guy talks about the 49ers way ahead of football season. So I guess Land on the Moon guy and the Indian store owner guy are essentially the same guy at this point. Okay. He then hypes up the new LUNAR stadium, its advanced gravity system. All right. If you say so. I am so very much excited for the NFL draft
This is the season that the 49ers are finally going to get their shit together, my friend, and they are finally going to win the Super Bowl. I have waited very many years for the 49ers to win another Super Bowl, and I simply cannot take another fucking Super Bowl loss, my friend. That is why in the upcoming draft, they need to get a new wide receiver. They need to find a new reliable target for a Brock Purdy to throw the football to. And then, of course, they need to get a new tight end, my friend. And the reason why George Kittle is getting very old, he's almost washed up, you know. And then, of course, if George Kittle was to get injured, who the fuck is going to be the 49ers tight end? The answer, they don't have a fucking answer. That's why they need to draft a tight end, my friend. And then, of course, maybe they will make it to the Super Bowl. And one day when they play in the LUNAR Stadium on the moon, me and Shabir will go and we will root and we will drink very many Bud Lights.
All right. It's enough of that. That's what he wanted me to do. I didn't just decide to do that on my own, you guys. RY wanted it, and he's paying for it. So there you go. All right. And then RY also coming in with another super chat. Beavis to Fittest Flat Earther, are you threatening me? Beavis to Fittest Flat Earther, are you threatening me?
I am the great Cornholio. Give me tippy for my bunghole. Yeah, bunghole. Yeah. Are you threatening me? I am the great Cornholio. You will give me tippy for my bunghole. It is not a question. It is a demand.
All right. What the freak is going on here? See, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't watch a whole lot of Beavis and Butthead when I was a kid. All those years of watching Beavis and Butthead when I was a kid finally paid off, you guys. All right. Let me make sure I'm not skipping anyone's super chats. And we'll get this show started. LaFleur Network says, fruitiest flat earther shiltard. Get him, Jake. Yes, tonight we are going to be grilling the fittest flat earther tonight a little bit, among other things. But he deserves it, you know. He brings it on himself. And then Big Money Bob coming in with these Jake the Awake gifted memberships right here. 5, 10, 15 gifted Jake the Awake memberships. This guy is a big money boss. So we're going to call him Big Money Boss Bob. Bob the Boss. All right. RY coming in with another super chat. Wants me to roast Elmo roasting Fittest Flat Earther. In fact, I think I can pull these up now. I can officially start pulling these up. All right. There it is. So I can get rid of this shit. There we go. All right, so these are the super chats that came in, once I got started. All right. Elmo roasts Fittest Flat Earther.
Tonight, you won't want to go anywhere because Elmo is going to be roasting the Fittest Flat Earther right here, live for you. And Big Bird and his mama gonna be watching because Elmo gonna be dishing up the real truth about this motherfucker named Fittest Flat Earther Tyler Hansen. I think he's a goddamn shill personally. Elmo gonna let y'all know how it go down tonight, bitch.
All right, little gangster Elmo coming out. All right. RY says this one is for Truth Hurts. Hawking's explaining a Mars mission interpreted by Trump. This is very exciting. Back from the dead, we have super genius here, Stephen Hawking. He's going to be telling you all about our exciting upcoming Mars mission. As you guys know, we successfully have went back to the moon again. So next we got Mars on our mind, and here to tell you about what we're planning on doing for our upcoming Mars mission, none other, Stephen Hawking. Exactly. So what Stephen Hawking has just told me, what I was able to interpret by his incoherent mumblings, is that we're going to be teaming up with SpaceX. We're going to be doing great things. Elon Musk and I, we're back good again. We were on the rocks, but now we're back to being BFFs again. We're going to be teaming up, NASA, SpaceX. We're going to be putting our minds together to get back to Mars. And that's what Stephen Hawking was mumbling about just a minute ago. And it's going to take billions and billions and billions of dollars, of course, but we're going to be taking that right out of your taxes. You're not even going to notice, all right? It's just a fraction of the money that's necessary in order to fulfill this great journey to Mars and beyond. And then, of course, after we go to Mars, we're thinking of going to Jupiter. That's right, Jupiter. People say it's a gas giant, but turns out there's actually elements to be mined. What? Is that really what Stephen Hawking said when he mumbled? I don't know. I have my questions personally. All right. Thank you, RY and Truth Hurts, collectively coming up with the idea for me to do that. Decran 4D says a new updated song for 2026. Fly by the moon. We fly by the moon. Fly by the moon. We fly by the moon. Fly by the moon. We fly by the moon. Take the rover. Don't land on the moon. And then we won't go back soon. We don't rove left. We don't rove right. We don't rove right. And bitch, we do not rove tonight. We don't land on the moon. Don't land on the moon. Yeah. I think I already did a parody of Don't Land on the Moon already. Yeah, turning it into a full song. Nowadays, I guess if I wanted to cheat and use AI, I could probably make full songs. But you guys would know I was cheating and using AI. If I come back tomorrow, I've got this full produced song. Hey, but as long as people don't care, right? That's the thing I thought. Should I just cheat and use AI and just take all these silly ideas and turn them into full songs with the use of AI? Is that cheating? I think it is. I think it's cheating. All right. Lemming in a shiny metal box says, I have space junk falling through my roof. There was that story that space junk fell through somebody's roof before, and they said it was a piece of the space station. Remember? They were like, oh, there's a hole in our roof. And we're like, what the heck? It was probably like 3 years ago or something. I talked about it in a live stream. I don't know, 3-4 years ago. Some of you guys might remember there was that popular story where a piece of the space station allegedly broke off and went through some person's roof. And then they were on the news smiling and laughing about it. This was a piece of the space station, and now I'm holding it in my hand. We just won the unlucky roof lottery, I guess. Yeah. I hope that you don't actually have anything punching a hole in your roof. And in all honesty, in all seriousness, I hope that your roof is not damaged in any way, shape, or form. I hope that this is all for fun and joking around. I wouldn't want anyone's roof to get damaged, whether it is by a piece of falling junk or by a falling tree or anything, right? Because roofs are super expensive. Right? It costs a lot to get your roof repaired. So I don't want any of my subscribers to have any roof issues. I just want to make that clear. All right. Thank you, Lemming in a shiny metal box. I appreciate the super chat. Good sir with a super chat says, Jack Morgan, whenever you can squeeze him in. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find subjects to talk about, but we got to keep going. Like, I remember back when I used to skateboard, like, And now I make good money. I'm like hood rich Ricky. Sha. You know how much I owed on my taxes? Sha. You don't even want to know. Sha. So we had to let Nestor go, and our productivity went down. So I'm hoping that you guys buy a Caddy Daddy t-shirt, you know. Wow, wow. Take a hit, metaphorically speaking. You guys realize that like homes right now in Florida, it's like really expensive. I remember when I used to go skateboarding. We used to watch DVDs. Remember when people used to watch DVDs? Yeah, crazy, right? And now, like, people can't even afford their cars. I bought an old Cadillac, and then I put it on a shirt, and then I sell the shirt. Speaking of, you want to buy a Caddy Daddy t-shirt? This is a great talk. It's been a good video. Thanks for watching. All right. Maria. We sound good. There's a little Jack Morgan, little freestyle Jack Morgan. I notice Jack's having a little harder time pumping out the videos. Views are starting to drop for everyone. Views are down for everyone all over the whole platform, basically. Even like Mr. Beast and a lot of the big YouTube channels. Like everybody's views down right now. It's like harder and harder to find shit to talk about. So it's kind of funny. I see some of these other channels that were like skating along on Easy Street. Now suddenly not doing as well as they were, but they still got to act like they're big shit. They still got to act like they're fucking killing it when clearly they're not. Brian on time says, just out of appreciation for your authenticity, been a big fan for a long time. Thanks. Thank you, Brian on time, for the easy layup of a super chat. I love it. Brian on time, y'all. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the long time fanship and support of the channel. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. Sometimes I question like, what in the holy hell am I doing? But then there's like another part of me. It's like, this is it, bro. It's like what you were born to do, and you're doing it. So thank you guys for being here and supporting the channel for all this time. RY says, Jake, AI can't compete with your organic intelligence. Well, they're getting close. They're getting closer and closer, aren't they? Right? But yeah, as long as I can keep doing these impressions like nobody else, right? As long as I have the ability to be funnier than any person alive, right? And then whip out my bass, play some crazy licks. As long as I can keep proving to you guys that I'm the real deal, not AI, right? Not afraid to appear on camera, right? Then I'm going to be like a hot commodity the older I get. I'm hoping that like the more AI takes over, the more want and desire for genuine guys like me there will be. That's the hope. It's like, man, AI took over everything, but Jake is still Jake, right? All right. You know, one reason why AI can't compete with me, I've got actual intelligence, and their intelligence, it's artificial. For instance, AI could never do this. They would fuck that up. See, if AI tried to do that, they would mess up something. See, that's how you can tell I'm a real guy. Only a real guy could pull that shit off. If it was AI, it would have like messed up the fingers. But my fingers, nah. They're real. So I'm a real dude, not AI. There you go. This video has been certified real and genuine by me just now. RY says, I need some Asmongold, or as I like to call him, Asmongoloid. Can you guys believe this? The Strait of Hormuz is closed again. All the cost of gas. So freaking expensive. I wonder if they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. Trump said he was going to open it. They said it was open. Now they say it's closed again. Is it open? It's closed. Gas just keeps going up because of you guys. The Strait of Hormuz. Can you believe this? What the actual fuck is happening with the Strait of Hormuz right now? Does anyone know? There you go. Strait of Hormuz, Asmongold edition. That's probably what he said about that. I'll bet you if we pulled, I haven't even seen it, but I'll bet you if we pulled up Asmongold's video about the Strait of Hormuz, because I'm sure he's done one or several. I'm sure that's about what he said. All right. Did I get through all the super chats? I believe I have. I believe I've finally caught up with all the super chats. And it looks like Brian might have even sent 2 of the same super chat on accident. Wow, thanks, Brian. All right. You guys ready to get into the first video? Finally. So without further ado, let's jump in.
So the Fittest Flat Earther comes out, or Tyler Hansen, and makes this post about me, but even worse, he does it in his private subscriber group, so I wouldn't get word of it, calling me a Mason and a whole bunch of lies. But wait till you see how deep the story really goes. And we're talking pyramid schemes, talking crap to 9-to-5 workers, and a whole bunch of stuff like threatening to unalive people for talking about him. But let's start right here. I've had my suspicion for months now. Tell the whole truth, Tyler. What happened is I stopped talking to him months ago. Here's a text where he comes out of nowhere after months saying, "Oh, I'm worried about you." And I did that because all the stupid crap he says. He says this person's one person, forgets the bull crap that he gave y'all, then says he's 5 other people at the same time. So there's one person, 6 people, and nobody ever dies.
I've never heard of this guy before. But since I got a super chat tonight asking me to, or asking about his video, Moon Henry, saying that he was talking about Fittest Flat Earther, thought I'd go ahead and check it out. And I watched a little bit of it.
Also, it's funny enough, I'm controlled, JT is controlled, Caleb Podge is controlled, Connecting Consciousness, we're all controlled, but this one guy. You know what's funny? I lost my TikTok at 500K, my first account 3 years ago. And he has all of his accounts still, but it's always every single person else that's controlled. What really is it? It's his pride. What happened was I attacked a demonic doctrine that he was spreading. By the way, he's a brand new Christian. He got saved when he started making videos. He's never read the entire Bible. He's never even read a full book of the Bible. He uses Google to find trendy things to make videos about with no knowledge whatsoever.
All right. So here's a guy right here talking about Fittest Flat Earther. And I got my own opinions on the guy. And I'll get to those opinions here shortly. But just showing you that there's other people out there that are not happy with this guy. Other people making videos talking negatively about him. Tyler's pyramid scheme and lies. You started this. I'll finish it. All right. So it doesn't look like this guy's making a whole lot of friends out there. All right. And I got a request from Doxological Thinker. It says, can you do Alex Jones saying Trump turned the Strait of Hormuz gay? How do you turn a body of water gay? Folks,
You are not going to believe what's happening right now in the Strait of Hormuz, but apparently there was this whole horde of friggin' gay frogs and gay turtles and gay fish swimming around in the Strait of Hormuz that it turned the actual body of water. I swear this sounds crazy, but I'm telling the truth. It turned the Strait of Hormuz gay. All right. Now, this is, of course, Trump's problem, and I'm starting to believe that Trump is not actually on our side, but he might be a deep state agent working for the Mossad, folks. Right now, I'm starting to think that Trump has not had our best interests at heart with this whole closure, opening and closure again of the Strait of Hormuz. Let me tell you what, ain't nothing straight about that Hormuz, folks. Nothing straight about that Hormuz. In fact, you know what? From what I hear, Hormuz is bending over, taking it right up the ass. Hormuz is gay, folks. Not a Strait of Hormuz. It's the gay of Hormuz. All right, that's ridiculous. It's making me sick. I think I'm about to puke. I think I'm about to puke right now.
All right. Whew. There you go. Turning the Strait of Hormuz gay. Why not? Sounds like how that would go. Thank you to Doxological Thinker for the super chat requests. I don't think I've done a Alex Jones impression in a few nights, a few streams maybe. Maybe I have and I forgot. But thank you. All right. RY says RV hypes Fittest Flat Earther. So I see Jake the Fake has been making troll content about my Christian brother, Tyler Hansen, Fittest Flat Earther. Now, Jake the Fake, as I like to call him, he's trying to keep you away from God's created flat earth. And that's exactly why he tries to tell his gullible audience not to watch Fittest Flat Earther. It's absolutely ridiculous. Fittest Flat Earther knows that the sun shrinks into a dot, which proves that the earth is biblical and it's flat. There you go. Russian vids hyping up Fittest Flat Earther. All right. All this talk about Fittest Flat Earther. Let's go ahead and check out his one of his latest videos, actually. You guys are never going to believe he found another match. He finds these fallen angels, and he finds all these different roles that they're playing, and he finds little marks on their face, and he just proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that these fallen angels are just magical shapeshifters, you guys. So this one's going to blow your mind. You guys ready?
You're not ready for this. None of you. Well, maybe.
I don't even think you guys are ready. So maybe we just won't watch it. Psych! You're watching it.
You're not ready for this. None of you. Well, maybe some of my subscribers, but the rest of you, not even close. But I'm going to do it anyway. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And well, that is Christopher Walken. And trust me, give me a minute. You see, I know they're shapeshifters, but the past few days, I've realized they shapeshift way more than even I realize. And I'm not going to lie, I owe this discovery to my buddy Robin Williams. You know, Robin Williams, Uncle Pappy, who shapeshifted from young to old and vice versa, and from Robin Williams and Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt's wife, who looks like that, and Robin Williams' wife, who looks like that. We'll get back to the wives. But yeah, I was hunting for Christopher Walken, and I came across a video of.
So Robin Williams is Uncle Pappy guy, and he's Teddy Roosevelt as well. Fascinating.
Of Robin Williams doing a Christopher Walken impersonation.
The great Chris Walken quote that one time they asked Chris Walken, they said, "Chris, what's the most? What would you, if you could have anything in the world? What would you want?" And he'd tell them what he would. Well, I'd want a tail. I mean, but why, Chris? Well, if I was happy, my tail would be out. And obviously, if I was sad or scared, my tail would be down.
There's that part right there. The get down. It sounded like Arnold more than Christopher Walken.
Clearly, this is proof that these are the same entity. These are the same fallen angel. Christopher Walken, when he says get down, sounds an awful lot like who else do we know who says get down? Christopher Walken, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're the same person. Fallen angel. Shapeshifter. It's shapeshifting from the angel. The angel that shapeshifted is Christopher Walken. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right? So basically now it's clear he's purposely taking a diarrhea all over the celebrity replacement subject, right? So every day he's got a new one, and every day it's like more ridiculous than the last video. It's like he's trying to like outdo himself in each video, or it's like the people who are giving him these scripts. I don't think that he's doing this all on his own accord. There's somebody giving this guy a script to read every day, and the script keeps getting more ridiculous, right? Nobody can really believe this, right?
My tail would be down.
So one of the first things I do now, instead of checking symmetry, is I check the wives. And well, Arnold's wife was Mariah Shriver, and she wasn't a match. Not really a match at all. So I almost quit. But then I remembered Arnold wasn't married to her anymore. So I checked the girlfriend. And boy, did it not disappoint. Arnold's girlfriend and Chris's wife.
The same person. Clearly, you can see the symmetry in the smile and the chin. Same wife. They always have the same wife.
That's the same. Look at the noses. Exact angle of the nose. And they can shapeshift way more than you realize, my friends. And I'll prove it. Here's a nice little side-by-side of Chris.
In a side-by-side comparison, the symmetry is nearly identical between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Christopher Walken. And you might find this hard to believe, but when it comes to shapeshifters, they're very sneaky and magical. They can literally just shift shapes. That's why they call them shapeshifters.
This guy's like an endless source of entertainment at this point. Just gonna slam dunk on his face whenever I feel like it, right? Like every video is more ridiculous than the last. So I can just slam dunk on this guy's face. And it's like, well, he did threaten to end my life. He is lying to people, right? He's actually getting people to believe this shit.
Chris and Arnie. How similar. I mean, you wouldn't think it to look at them because one's smaller and skinny, but they're shapeshifters. They're shapeshifters.
I like how he does the whispering to add dramatic effect with the dramatic music in the background.
They're shapeshifters.
And the steroids and the working out, it's nonsense. It's all nonsense. They can just shapeshift. And you're probably still thinking this is nonsense, but let me show you.
He doesn't even have to work out. He just shapeshifts. Those of you who don't believe what I'm saying right now, you just don't know about how shapeshifters work. You don't need to work out. You don't need steroids. All you need to do is shapeshift. So, Christopher Walken, when he wants to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, he just shapeshifts. And then when he wants to be Christopher Walken again, shapeshifts back. Fallen angels, they can do that.
Right? I mean, if you have any questions, those would be the answers you'd get. Well, how does this magical shape-shifting ability work?
Well, it's magic, and they shapeshift.
Oh, so he's Arnold when they need him to be Arnold, and then when they need him to be Christopher, he just snap of a finger shapeshifts. Is that how that works? I had somebody accuse me of being a shapeshifter. In fact, I've shown you guys. His name is Aaron Haywood, and he accused me of playing all these multiple roles. He even accused me of being another YouTuber, Nick Johnson, who is married and lives in North Carolina. So I posed the question, do shapeshifters also get to warp across the world to be someone else, right? So if Christopher Walken is in a different state than Arnold, does he also get to warp? How does, you know what I mean? Like, because Nick Johnson lives in North Carolina, and I live in California. So if I'm going to be Nick Johnson and shapeshift into Nick Johnson, do I get to warp over there to where he lives? Shape-shifting, right?
Some of their mannerisms. Do you see the shape of their heads and their chins?
And he directed shots and all this kind of explosions. But the flesh, the human flesh deteriorates, and then what is left is the metal robot. Yeah, exactly.
So you said you're going to work on another picture.
They both touched their fingertips and interlaced their fingers. Perfect match, you guys. They touched their fingertips together the exact same way. That is Arnold and Christopher Walken, 100% proof, same guy. I mean, their voice, identical. Their looks, identical. They touch together their fingertips and make that Illuminati sign, right? At the exact same way. I mean, I don't need to see any more proof. Christopher Walken, a nigger. Christopher Walken, nigger.
My favorite celebrity is Christopher Walken, nigga. It is half Arnold and half Christopher.
There it is. Proof. The only proof you need to see, you guys. All right. Before we finish this masterpiece of a video, let me read some super chats. Had some super chats come in. Dcran4D says, or actually one from Doxological Thinker says, the Moon Henry Fittest Flat Earther beef seems scripted. Yeah, I watched his video and I wasn't real impressed with what he showed. And so I got to kind of agree with you, but I don't really know anything about the Moon Henry guy. I literally saw him for the first time tonight when Dcran sent that super chat before the stream started. I quickly watched that video, and Dcran's next super chat is about that, actually. And he says, Moon actually mentioned you in that video, Jake. He doesn't really say what happened, though. Like, he could have showed it, you know what I mean, on screen, like showed the actual threat from Tyler and whatever, but he didn't. He just mentioned that he threatened another creator's life. So he quasi-mentioned me. RY says, oh wait, I did read that one. I did do that one already. RV hypes Fittest Flat Earther. RY says, there is no way Fittest Flat Earther can be serious. He's trolling. No, what it is he's paid to do this. So I believe that he gets a paycheck to do that. And it's not like this clever idea that he came up with. Like, oh, I'm going to trick people. Ha, 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 ha. Because, no. So instead, the whole fake Christian routine, and then calls himself Fittest Flat Earther, wears the ice wall hat, and then the celebrity replacement garbage. It's like, I talk about the earth not being a globe. I talk about celebrities getting replaced. And here this guy comes along and takes a diarrhea all over the subject and gets promoted to the top on all these social media platforms. So personally, I think it's like a troll character, but he's like he's not doing it on his own accord. I think he's like a paid actor, essentially, right? Like a figurehead. So he also kind of seems like a cop. So he almost comes off like law enforcement in a way. There's something about him that seems copish. So it wouldn't surprise me if he has some sort of connection back to law enforcement of some kind. I really don't know. I haven't like dug deep into the guy's background or anything. The guy's more of a clown for me to slam dunk on at this point. And, he brought it on himself for sending that death request. I'm rigged with a donation, says Arnold reinforcing screws in the space station while floating.
This is one of the most exciting things that I have ever been able to achieve. It was on my bucket list. As many of you know, I don't have many years here on Earth. And that's why I am not on Earth right now. I'm up here in the International Space Station. And this was one of the things I wanted to do before I kicked the bucket. This is on my bucket list. I'm looking down right now. I'm looking down right now. I can see California right now when I look down out the window. And of course, I'm very excited. I'm going to be going on a journey around the moon next December. But right now, what I need to do is I need to reinforce your freedom, because screw your freedom. You don't deserve freedom unless you wash your hands and you wear a mask and you get the jab and you get the vaccination. Other than that, you don't have any freedom. So screw your freedom. Psych, I lied. I did not mean screw your freedom in a negative way. I meant screw your freedom in the positive way. What you want to do is you want to reinforce your freedom with screws, and you need to take the freedom, you need to put it in a solid foundation. You need to reinforce the foundation with the screw. All right. That's enough of that.
Arnold reinforcing the screws in the space station. There you go. Don't let anyone tell you that I'm not the hardest working man in all of fake show business. Because I am. All right.
Explosion, but the flesh, the human flesh deteriorates, and then what is left is the metal robot. Yeah, exactly.
You said you're going to work on another picture.
And they brought us horses, and they were not really well trained. And
they love to tell us. They love to tell us in the movies, but there's no real pictures, just one in the background. So I'm going to just listen and watch the mockery. And make sure you stick around for the end, because
you're a really, really good singer.
Just one song, so I know what your voice sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I will just do it. No big deal. I just dive.
Oh, somebody made a video where they used AI to insert an Arnold voice and Arnold's face over the Step Brothers movie. That's all the proof I need. Oh, someone online manipulated the pixels on a screen and used a auto sampling of Arnold Schwarzenegger to like make a parody Step Brothers Arnold Schwarzenegger Christopher Walken thing, and that apparently is rubbing the proof in our face that Arnold is Christopher Walken. Okay, bro. It's your channel. If that's really what you want to do. Yeah, there's something about this guy that just screams like fed to me. Right? Seems like they give him a script to read and then he reads it and he knows that it's a ridiculous script, but he gets a check to do it. So it's like, well, I'm going to look like an idiot, but I got to do what I got to do to feed my family. So I guess I'm just going to look like a fucking idiot to most everybody. But there's going to be some fucking idiots who believe me. And those are the fucking idiots that I'm banking on.
Into it, I just start singing. People are talking about people.
Guy, Brennan, that is the voice of an angel. Your voice is like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. What?
You get the picture. And
I get the picture. Someone made a parody video with those two guys because they're the same shapeshifter. Of course.
now you're going to get the full picture. People always say, well, how could they exist at the same time? Because they can shift back and forth and they're just characters on the world stage. I want you to look here. Do you see it? It's like a 7 right here and a Z right here. Do you see it?
He always finds a mark. This is the most fascinating part of Fittest Flat Earther's work. He always finds a little freckle, a faint little mark on their face. It's like, how are you doing that? Are you telling me you wake up in the morning and you just zoom in on every celebrity's face and then try and zoom in on other celebrities' face and try and fucking match little marks, bro? Is that what you do? You zoom in on people's faces all day. It'd be one thing if you found, this connection, a few times a year, you find this mark that looks like this, but he does this every day, right? This is like what he does for a living. Find marks on people's faces that match up just perfectly. and he's always successful. Wow. He's always successful. God. Imagine that.
I'm going to wake up today and I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go outside. I'm going to spend every waking hour zooming in on people's faces so that I can bust these fallen angels and show their freckles and scars that they're playing multiple roles in their shape-shifting. I'm going to do this every day. Heavenly Father's blessing me with the ability to zoom in on these freckles,
right? He always finds a freckle. JP Crucino says, hello, Sir Jake. I found a picture of the machine that astronauts use to purify and drink 98% of their moisture, pee, and sweat. It's called a urine processor assembly, and for some reason, I can't buy one on Amazon. Yes, the astronauts drink recycled pee, according to NASA. The astronauts on the International Space Station, they pee into this urine purification processor McDeely, and it turns it into purified drinking water. And if you don't believe that, you must be some crazy conspiracy cuckoo who believes that the Earth is flat. Cuckoo. Everyone knows that drinking purified urine is just as regular as drinking spring water. You don't notice any difference. Spring water, purified urine is essentially the same thing. It's tasteless. And then it doesn't matter how many times that the astronauts pee out that same purified water. You just keep purifying it and it's back to its original clean, pure form each time, right? It's very magical, that urine processing machine. But it's very expensive, so you're not going to be able to afford one of their urine processing assemblies, because from what I hear, it costs $66.6 billion. They can afford that, but you can't. So, that's why space costs so much. It's because it's hard to convert the piss into clean drinking water. So in order to do that efficiently in space where it matters most, they need to make sure they have a quality system in place. And that quality of system is just simply not available unless you're willing to spend $66.6 billion. All right. There you go. Thank you, JP Crucino, for the very generous super chat. I appreciate that, sir. Also, another very generous super chat coming in from Rex James says, "Sup, Jake, could I get $20 worth of your finest cowbell? I could use some cowbell in my life right now. I got a fever. And the only thing that can soothe this fever is more cowbell. Guys, when that song starts, they're going to need to hear that cowbell. The only way people are going to enjoy the song is if they hear that cowbell coming in nice and loud. If I was a dog, I would wag my tail if I heard the cowbell. It's very important that we get this right. Now, I'm going to need to hear some goddamn cowbell right now. All our times have come. Boom, 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 boom. Here, but now they're gone. Boom, 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 boom. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper, you'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper, baby, I'm your man. Boom, 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 boom. Guys, that was beautiful. But you know what? We're going to need you to do it again. But this time, more cowbell. All right. There you go. There's an old rendition of a very popular skit from many years ago, the cowbell skit. If you've never seen the cowbell skit, I highly recommend. One of Saturday Night Live's best skits of all time, featuring Christopher Walken and asking for more cowbell for Don't Fear the Reaper. So there you go. Little throwback for you. Anybody who remembers that skit, that was some quality work by Saturday Night Live. They've put out a lot of dog shit, right? Cowbell stands the test of time. It's a good skit. Go check it out here on YouTube when you get the chance. All right. All right. Little encore cowbell for that ass. We got more show, I promise. RY says, Fittest Flat Earther, Borat is really Ali G.
So I was doing some digging, and that's when the Heavenly Father blessed me with the ability to see that this fallen angel looks an awful lot like this fallen angel. Clearly, Borat and Ali G, they're the same shapeshifter. And that's why, whenever these fallen angels, whenever they want to shapeshift from one entity to the other, that's when they use the power of the Nephilim.
There you go. Ali G is Borat. Fittest Flat Earther on the case. Speaking of, he's all right, guys. Let's hear him out. He did find a matching mark on Arnold's face and Christopher Walken's face. So let's go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he's got some real evidence here to show us.
Clear scarring, 7, right? 7. And then a little tail right there. See it? Kind of like that one. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 7 with the little tail. 7.
Shit, I think he's winning me over, you guys. Shit. You know, I was sitting here making fun of the guy. And now I'm sitting here thinking maybe I may have made a mistake. Maybe he's onto something. I mean, those marks in the same spot. I don't see how else it could be possible other than fallen angels shape-shifting. I think that's the only logical conclusion to come to in this scenario.
With a little tail. And when I even push them together, they're in the exact same location. Now I'm working my butt off every single day to help wake you all up to the fact that there are shape-shifting fallen angels down here.
Guys, I'm working my butt off every day. I'm working my butt to the bone, trying to find these fallen angels for you. And I'm doing this to protect you. Heavenly Father sent me here to work my butt to the bone so that I could show you that these fallen angels are able to shapeshift. That's why every day I stare at celebrities' faces and I look at their dimples and their pimples and their freckles and their scars and every little blemish on their face, and then I try and find matches, and that's what I do with all my free time. I spend all of my waking hours busting these deceivers. I'm literally working my butt to the butt bone for you. This is the thanks I get? You don't worship me and believe everything that I say? I'm going to pray for you. I pray that the Heavenly Father gives you the ability to listen to me.
Oh, this dude. Gonna be an everlasting source of entertainment, right? Oh, I already read that one. My bad. Saw that I got some new super chats that came in. RY says Jake or Fittest Flat Earther says Jake the asshole is Robert De Niro.
So I was wondering where I saw this certain shapeshifter before. Then it occurred to me. You talking to me? You talking to me? Who sounds like that? Kind of sounds like that crazy guy who does all those impressions, Jake the Awake. People say that he looks like a young Robert De Niro. They love to rub it in your face. That's because Jake the Awake is Robert De Niro. That's why he looks like a young Robert De Niro. They're the same shapeshifter.
He would say some shit like that. That used to happen more often when I first started the channel. People would say I look like a young Robert De Niro. It doesn't happen nearly as much anymore.
In Earth, banished from our heavenly abode, and they're deceiving us every day, trying to get us to worship them instead of the Most High. And I don't know, sometimes I just think it's a big test, and they're on a mission testing us to see if we will choose our Heavenly Father instead of them.
That's what it is. All right. So there you go. One of his recent videos, right? He's truly outdoing himself with each upload. Wow. Who knew, you guys, that Christopher Walken and Arnold were the same shapeshifter this whole time? Oh, wow. I don't know about you guys, but he blows my mind every time. You learn something new when you watch that guy. Doxological Thinker says, you can tell he's working hard because of his triumphant music in the background. Oh, yes. All right. Well, that reminds me that I did a parody video of this guy several days ago, and I released it for members only. So only channel members have had the opportunity to see my latest Fittest Flat Earther parody. But since you guys are watching here live right now, I'm going to go ahead and premiere for everybody watching here my Fittest Flat Earther parody that has never been shown before. I'm going to post it, or actually show it right now. All right. So without further ado, here's the world premiere Fittest Flat Earther parody, Fallen Angel, Shaq Hart. Enjoy.
Well, I did it. I finally found the evidence I was looking for, that these deceivers, they aren't who or what you think they are. So I was doing some digging, and I had a breakthrough. The Heavenly Father has blessed me with the ability to see through these deceivers' deceptions. And that's when I realized that this person right here, it's not a person at all. In fact, this shapeshifter, I believe I have found an exact match. So I couldn't help but notice when I was looking at a picture of Shaq, he doesn't look quite like any other human that I've ever seen. And that's because he's not a human. He's a fallen angel. And clearly, I realized I've seen this fallen angel somewhere else before. So when I was looking for a match for this particular fallen angel, the Heavenly Father blessed me with a breakthrough. And that's when I found this. So at first glance, you might not notice that Shaq and Kevin Hart are nearly identical ringers for one another. But when you line up their faces side by side, you can clearly see the symmetry between this entity right here and this entity right here. Clearly, the symmetry is undeniable. So obviously, what we're looking at is the same entity. Now, there's people out there that might believe that it's impossible for 7'1" Shaquille O'Neal to be 5'4" Kevin Hart. But that's just because you probably don't know anything about fallen angels. You see, fallen angels, they have the ability to shapeshift. And clearly, Shaquille O'Neal is not just any fallen angel. He has a magical ability to not only shapeshift, but he is also one of the Nephilim. Clearly, giants still do exist. And the fact that Shaquille O'Neal is over 7 foot tall means he's most likely part of the Nephilim bloodline. So not only can he shapeshift, but he also has the ability to duplicate himself. So whenever you see a picture of Kevin Hart and Shaquille O'Neal together, you're actually looking at the same shape-shifting entity. Now I know this video isn't going to be enough evidence to convince everyone, but before I go, I'm going to leave you with some evidence you can hang your hat on. So I was zooming in on Kevin Hart's face, and I couldn't help but notice this very distinguishable mark on his face. And then when I zoomed in on Shaq's face, wouldn't you know it? That same mark. It's a little bit faint. You can't quite see it as well, but clearly the exact same mark in the exact same location. What are the odds that both of these two men have the exact same mark at the exact same spot on their face. Those of you with eyes that can see, you know that this is far beyond any possibility of being a coincidence. These two entities most definitely share the same mark. It's the mark of the beast. They're vampires. So if you ever see an example of these two fallen angels sharing the same photograph, what you're seeing is an example of the Nephilim being able to duplicate themselves. And when you're dealing with these fallen angels, this is exactly the type of stuff they like to do to deceive those who don't have the ability to see through the deception.
All right, there you go. You could tell that I was working hard because of the triumphant music in the background. That's right, doxological thinker. Yeah, that's how you know I was working my butt to the bone.
I've been working really hard. I've been grinding my butt to the bone, so to speak, busting these fallen angels.
Ah, yes, the triumphant music, right?
Oh, and also, I edited it out, but I also saved an old lady who almost got hit by a bus, and then I also changed a sick old man's tire. He was too sick to change his tire, so I changed it right after I saved an old lady from almost getting hit by a bus. And then I
all right, that's enough. I was going to continue talking about all the stuff that I did, which makes me a hero. All right. RY says, can you please also show Elmo and Grover? All right. Since that one is only a minute long, I think I could pull that off. Elmo, Grover. Yeah. Everyone's seen it pretty much, but since you're paying and it's really short, why not? Maybe there's somebody here tonight who hasn't seen it. All right.
When you know that the whole world is scripted, like I do, then you can see right through these puppets. See this guy right here? Looks an awful lot like this guy right here. They're the same puppet. They're shapeshifters. They're vampires. So clearly you can see the symmetry between this puppet right here and this puppet right here. And obviously, in a side-by-side comparison, it's not too hard to tell. These are the same puppet. Now, if you're going to want to see some proof that you can hang your hat on, look no further than right here. This little piece of fur, an exact match for this piece of fur. Proof that Elmo is Grover. They're the same puppet. And of course, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I don't really believe any of this. Or do I?
I literally don't even know what I just watched. There you go. Little extra Asmongold reaction on top of it all. All right. Rex James with a donation says, Jake, have you heard Fittest Flat Earther say Brad Pitt and Benicio del Toro are the same person? That one does get me because they do look alike. See, that one might actually be true. That's one that actually sounds plausible, right? And so there are scenarios where they could have a celebrity play multiple roles, right? But it would also make sense if they have a agent in place, controlled opposition agent, who gives you like 3 or 4 real ones, and then he gives you like 300-400 shitty ones, like the one that we just watched, Christopher Walken and Arnold, or Jay Leno as Jake Paul. So for every Brad Pitt is Benicio del Toro video that comes out of that guy, there's like 5 to 10 just donkey shit videos, like where he says Jay Leno is Jake Paul, or Arnold Schwarzenegger is Christopher Walken, or a Prince is David Blaine, right? So he's taken some examples of this celebrity plays this celebrity that were plausible, and he's buried those within a sea of diarrhea, essentially. And I think that's his job, right? To mix in a little bit of truth about celebrities playing multiple roles, but then bury that truth amongst a sea of diarrhea. Imagine a whole sea of diarrhea. That's his content. And then there's little tiny bits of truth. That's it. That's how it works. So yeah, he's probably got 2 or 3 videos where he has the celebrities right and the marks on the face right. And then all the rest of them are going to be dog shit and lies on purpose. That's the trouble with that guy. But yes, he's not the first person to make the comparison between Brad Pitt and Benicio del Toro. John Guinness with a donation says, Donald Trump working at a Mexican restaurant. So as you remember, I was a honorary employee for McDonald's, but today I'm going to be showing my appreciation for the folks across the border. I'm going to be working a short honorary shift at a Mexican restaurant. And this is to show you I am the greatest president of all time. Nobody works as hard as me. Nobody is an honorary employee like I am. Creepy Joe would have never done this. This just proves I am a far superior president than Creepy Joe or Obama. So here you're going to watch me take an order right now. Hi, hello, welcome to El Machachis, where your dining pleasure is our greatest service. What would you like to order today? Now, what I'd like to recommend, I recommend you try the carnitas, enchiladas. Got a lot of genius back there making the food. Let me tell you, these aren't illegals. These guys back there making the enchiladas got a lot of genius, and they make some of the most wonderful carnitas enchiladas that you ever seen. So highly recommend the carnita enchilada. All right, there you go. Little Donald Trump working at the Mexican restaurant. It's what y'all want, right? True Metal Jake says, hey, Jake, you're really a good bass player. How long have you been playing? Can you play a 6-string guitar too? Do you currently play in any bands? So I used to be more of a serious player back when I was in a band, but I'm currently not in a band. I've been in an original band, and I've been in a cover band. And in the cover band, I was just the singer. But in the original band, I played bass and sang some of the lyrics. And then the other guy that I was in a band with, he played guitar and sang the other half of the lyrics. So I don't currently have a band. I have a guitar, but I don't really play it. So I bought one thinking that maybe I'll learn to play guitar a little more, but I totally haven't done that. So I bought a cheap guitar, a Squire guitar, so that I could maybe play a little more rhythm guitar and try to get more into music and recording. But so far, I haven't done that. So I do have one guitar, but it doesn't get played. And let's see. So there you go. I answered all your questions, and I've been actually thinking. It's funny you bring this up. I've been thinking that I should probably take some time to get back into bass and get all my gear all set up properly and get back into it and school myself on some things that I neglected over the years. So I neglected becoming like a top-notch bass player. I never dedicated my whole life to the instrument. Instead, I started making videos about all sorts of conspiracies and other stuff that doesn't have anything to do with music or bass at all. So bass is one of those things, like any instrument. It's like, in order to master it, it has to like become your life, right? So in order to be a master of your instrument, you have to put in the time and effort. So I feel like maybe before I die, I should spend a year or two just like focusing on the bass as much as possible so that I could achieve that feeling of mastering the instrument, because I don't feel like I have it mastered. So I'm good, but I don't have the instrument mastered, right? So somebody who is really awesome, like Charles Berthoud or even somebody like Les Claypool or Flea, they've been playing their whole life and bass has always been their main thing. Where I didn't make bass my main thing in life. So for that reason, I didn't become as good as I could have. And it bothers me. So it bothers me enough that I feel like if I wanted to, and I spent like a year or two just focusing on bass, like super hardcore, that I could essentially make up for the time that I lost, right? And master the instrument. So it's in the back of my head that that's one of those things I need to do, is get my shit together and find the time to master my instrument. So thank you for the super chat. That reminds me, I need to get my shit together and put out some new stuff with the bass. RY with a donation says, Fittest Flat Earther, Mr. Ed Horse and Russell Brand are the same.
So I was looking at a picture of Russell Brand, and I realized he doesn't quite look like any human that I've ever seen. And he doesn't look like a fallen angel either. In fact, he looks like an animal of a different variety. So I was watching an old episode of Mr. Ed on Nick at Night, and that's when it hit me. Russell Brand is a very special kind of shapeshifter. He's able to shapeshift between a horse and a man who looks an awful lot like a horse, of course.
There you go. Russell Brand talking about, or Fittest Flat Earther talking about Russell Brand, Mr. Ed. Never thought that this would be a request, but here it is. All right. Ryan Handy says, appreciate you, Jake. Best truther by far. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, there's not a lot of people that will go on camera and just tell the truth, even basic truths, right? About NASA faking stuff or the Earth not being a globe, what have you. Just going on camera and doing this. There's a lot of men who are too chicken shit to do it, right? Or don't have the ability. And so there's people out there that will claim that they're truthers. Russian vids. They live truth. But they won't take a camera and stick it on their face and speak the truth. They won't look the camera in the eye and speak from their heart. So in my latest video, may not have got a lot of views, but I did something that not many men have the balls to do in this world. Stick themselves on camera and speak the truth. Right? So in my last video, if you guys watched it, I just walked and talked. I wanted to prove that I don't need AI. I don't need fancy transitions. I don't need any CGI graphics, right? And I'm not afraid of showing my likeness and my image on camera, and not afraid speaking how I feel on camera. So in today's world, you know, going on camera and speaking your heart, telling the truth, it can come with consequences. You can lose jobs, lose friends, lose family. And I've had all those things happen to me over the course of my life. So let me tell you, just doing something like this where you just go on camera, speak how you feel, not a lot of people can do it. And not a lot of people choose to do it. Thank you very much, Ryan Handy. I appreciate the donation, sir, and the compliment. JP Crucino with a donation says, during the Corvid years, we had our own Fittest Flat Earther in Canada. Canada. His name was Chris Sky. Huge chin, muscles, and savior complex. Prime fed material there. Oh, I remember when they were acting like the truckers were going to save us. The truckers in Canada blocking the roads and honking their horns are going to save us, right? Remember that when the truckers in Canada who were like blocking the roads and whatnot, they were going to bring the base system to their knees. And then eventually authority figures came along and were like, if you don't move all these trucks, we're going to tow these away and arrest all you sons of bitches. And they were like, prove it. And they're like, okay, bring in the tow trucks. And they're like, all right, we'll move. All right, we'll move. Yes, I remember all of it. I don't remember this person you're talking about, though. This is the first I've heard of this particular individual, Chris Sky, but sounds about right. Sounds par for the course to me. They had some Canadian intelligence agent controlled opposition schmuck there to rally citizens during the COVID lockdowns. Sure, makes sense. Doxological Thinker says, Jake, we all know you have awake in your name because you are telling us you are De Niro because he just happens to be awake whenever you see him. That's what it is. No, actually, the Jake the Awake name change was just simplistic in the fact that, like, as I've gotten older, I got tired of calling myself asshole, referring to myself as asshole every single time I mention my own channel or whenever it comes up. It's asshole, 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 asshole. And it gets tiresome. And so I thought perhaps that by just simply changing asshole, the cuss word, the dirty word, the naughty word, you know, the word that makes people think of anuses, changing that to just awake, but still keeping Jake and the in place. That way it's very similar and it's like a slight change. I thought that perhaps it would help new audiences see the channel, that maybe they would help promote me a little more. And honestly, I don't think it really worked. I don't think it helped, and I don't think it really hurt. So the name change, sometimes people will say, oh, I prefer Jake the Asshole, or I prefer Flat Earth Asshole. But I'm still doing the same content, essentially, you know, doing conspiracy content, streams. If there's a fake space mission, I'll break it down, right? So I'm still essentially doing the same content as I ever did when I was Jake the Awake, Jake the Asshole or Flat Earth Asshole. Just when I was Flat Earth Asshole, the channel was more dedicated to Flat Earth content, of course. But over the years, you run out of stuff to talk about as far as the Earth not being a globe. So then, you know, I naturally branched into talking about other subjects. And so I didn't want to limit myself to only talking about the Earth not being a globe, right? So I wanted to have a name that wasn't limited to just the Flat Earth subject. And at the time, they were deleting Flat Earth channels and demonetizing Flat Earth channels and whatever. So I kind of wanted to, and then a lot of the agents ruined the subject. So I kind of wanted to distance myself in a way and be able to talk about whatever I wanted. So the original name change from Flat Earth Asshole to Jake the Asshole was because I was talking about more subjects. And then the change from Jake the Asshole to Jake the Awake was because after many, many years of calling myself asshole, I just simply got tired of it, right? And the older I get, I wanted to have a name that wasn't so abrasive every time I said it, right? Jake the Awake, it rhymes. It sounds more pleasant than Jake the Asshole, right? So I still will see comments where people will say, I prefer Jake the Asshole or go back to being Jake the Asshole. But really, I'm just a guy expressing myself like I always have been, no matter what the name is, whether it's Jake Gibson, Jake the Awake, Jake the Asshole, or Flat Earth Asshole. I'm essentially just a guy who doesn't believe what I'm being told by the mainstream media or the government. And I'm expressing myself and telling you how I truly feel without candy coating shit. So thank you for supporting the channel, sir. I really appreciate it. LaFleur Network says 400 plus in the chat. Smash the thumbs up and subscribe. That's right. We are on our march to 100K. Very slowly. We're marching extremely slowly on our way to 100K. We'll get there eventually. Hopefully. So everybody here in chat right here, right now, show your boy some love. Hit the thumbs up. It does help. And if you're watching the replay, hit the thumbs up because it helps just as much, even if you're not here live with me right now and you're watching the replay tomorrow or the next day or whenever. Hit the thumbs up. It always helps. Show that algorithm that you enjoy this content. Dcran4D says, Ralph makes an appearance before the stream ends. Well, we've only been on here for an hour and a half, and I got some more for you. And I got Ralph right over here. He's actually sitting here in the chair next to me. Come on, Ralphie. There he is. He's just lounging, waiting for me to end the stream so we can go on a walk. There's the Pippi. There's my beagle, Ralphie. Ralphie is a puppy. He's a really good puppy. Ralphie is a puppy and a dog. Yeah. There you go. There is your Ralph appearance for the night. Oh, isn't he cute? Thank you, Dcran4D, for the super chat, homie. All right. RY wants Morgan Freeman. If you trust me, you'll trust Jake the Awake. I've been told that people trust me, and I've asked that if you trust me, you'll get the vaccine. Now, if you trust me, then you should also trust Jake the Awake. Now, he hasn't got the vaccine, so therefore I don't trust Jake the Awake. But if you trust me, then maybe you'll trust that Jake the Awake is telling you the truth. And right now, I am telling you a lie. This is Morgan Freeman. This is how I talk. I'm an old, decrepit ass, washed up movie star, and I've resorted to telling people they should get a vaccine. All right, where did that go? That was weird. That was a weird one. Dcran4D. Oh, wait, I already read that one. My bad. True Metal Jake says, Jake the Awake is cool. The name Jake the Asshole just makes me laugh every time. I hear it because my name is also Jake, and I'm also an asshole. So, like with my NFL content, like I feel like if somebody was like, oh, check out this guy who points out that the games are fake and rigged. His name's Jake the Awake. It would sound better than being like, oh, check out this guy, Jake the Asshole. You know what I mean? Because then people are like, I don't want to watch any assholes, right? So I feel like it's easier to show to your friends and family if it's Jake the Awake that you're talking about. Like, oh, check out this guy, Jake the Awake. Rather than being like, hey, grandma, check out this guy, Jake the Awake, or check out this guy, Jake the Asshole. Well, I don't want to watch a guy who's an asshole. I don't like assholes, right? So I want my name to be able to be easily mentioned without the thought of a dirty anus coming into anyone's mind. It was a business decision. And honestly, it doesn't seem to have made that much difference. It really hasn't. Maybe it has. I really can't tell. All right. So I think I've caught up on super chats. If I missed any super chats, let me know and I'll go back and get them. And let's go ahead and continue on with the show. Do you guys know that after the Artemis 2 mission came back from flying by the moon, that people were skeptical of what they showed and what they said that they did. And there were plenty of people, including some of you guys, who asked the question, how come none of the astronauts took any pictures or any videos with their phone? Like, how come none of the astronauts pull out their phone and video camera, the Earth outside the window of the capsule that they're in, right? So after they got back, and being that was one of the questions that a lot of people asked, they just so happened to produce that exact thing, you guys. How about that? After they got back, they happened to have this footage of them, of an astronaut taking video with their phone. Let me show you. You guys tell me what you think about this. This is after Artemis came back from the moon. Not while they were on their way to the moon, but once they had already returned.
Would you look at that, man?
Wow, once the shadows behind it was different.
Wow. Dude. No way.
That's the name of the video, you guys. Dude, no way. Artemis 2 commander captures amazing Earth set video with iPhone. But this came out 2 days ago. So guys, you know what this is? Damage control. Damage control. Check it out. So many people ask the question, how come the astronauts don't have any video from their iPhones? So they're like, hey, people keep asking for these astronauts' iPhone videos. So why don't we whip one together real quick and upload it? And then anyone who asks that, now we have something to show them. So check it out. Enough people wondered where the astronauts' phone footage is. Well, here it is. See, they give you this 1 minute. See, here's the edge of the window. Here's the moon and the Earth out the window. And this is clearly with an iPhone from an astronaut. Looks totally natural. As you can see, nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. And then we get a very strange cut. And then, of course, there it is, Earth set, you guys. And this is taken with a cell phone. That's what it looks like with an astronaut's phone.
Would you look at that, man?
Wow, once the shadows behind it was different.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, this is what the moon looks like out the window. Just super, super grainy. That's what the Earth looks like, just super grainy and pixelated. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Holy cow. We have a super duper generous super chat coming in from Doug Sims. He says, keep up the fight to awake people, brother. You had me laughing out loud imitating Flat Earther earlier. Doug Sims, sir, that is a very, very generous super chat dono, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I shall continue this fight, and that is not the last time you will see me doing the Fittest Flat Earther imitation. In fact, I believe I have the secret of the giant Fittest Flat Earther chin down, and nobody else has quite figured out how to do it like me. And his patented Duper's Delight grin.
I'm magically shape-shifting my chin. I actually just made my chin grow over 1/4 of an inch magically with my shape-shifting abilities.
All right. There we go. I had to shape-shift my chin back to normal, right? Guys, wow. So much love, so much support. You know, whenever I go live, I'm like, are they going to be as awesome as they were last week? Last week, there was so much support, and it blew me away. Are they really going to show up, and are they going to support me like that again? And here you guys are, showing almost equally as much love as last time, maybe more love than last time. Shit. You guys, I can't thank you enough for giving me the ability to do this for you guys. All right. This is an incredible experience. If I didn't have a audience as awesome as you guys, well, then I wouldn't be doing it because there wouldn't be a reason to do it. So thank you guys for giving me a reason to do what I'm doing here tonight. And everybody, give it up for Doug Sims supporting your boy here. All right. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Hell yeah. It's almost as exhilarating as the feeling of what it must be like to videotape this image of Earth out the window on your way back from the moon.
Dude. No way. Fiend.
God. It's gone.
Yeah, that's Earthset, you guys. And this is a mainstream channel, video from space, 2 million subscribers. It's got the official Artemis logo. So, yeah, guys, this is what they want you to believe is footage from an astronaut's iPhone. And there's people out there who will insult you. They'll call you a moronic tard for not buying that. Like if you point at that and you say it's fake to a believer, they'll look at you like you have a third arm growing out of your head, right? They'll even tell you that you are actually a tard, right? Your brain is not functioning properly if you don't believe that this is a genuine iPhone video of Earthset. That's what it is. Earthset. An astronaut's video of Earthset that conveniently was posted 2 days ago after so many people asked how come the astronauts didn't take videos with their phones. See? So this is something they create as damage control after they supposedly came back from the moon trip. Like, all right, we did our moon trip, but there's lots of people pissed off who aren't buying into it. And there's a lot of people asking why the astronauts didn't take any video with their phones or show anything out the window. So let's quickly whip up a video showing exactly that, and we'll post that. And then if anybody online makes a stink about it, now we have a video to show those people, right? So now any NASA fanboy can be like, they do have videos from the astronaut's iPhone, you idiot. Here it is. But you're not going to believe it because you're a stupid, crazy flat earther, right? And then they'll have somebody like Simon Dan make a video like, Jake the Awake still doesn't believe in the wonderful achievement that the Artemis 2 crew flew around the moon, and even when the astronauts post perfectly reasonable proof in the form of a video recording that was taken from an iPhone, Jake simply says that it's not real. This is a case of Jake showing his personal incredulity rather than Jake actually showing any evidence of any fakery at all, right? So they'll have Simon Dan gaslight the fuck out of me and say, like, Jake says it's fake, but it's real. And the reason he thinks it's fake is because he doesn't know how cameras work. Clearly, Jake is showing his inability to understand how a camera works. Jake, if only you learn how NASA's camera settings operate, then you wouldn't ask such silly questions. Right?
Dude. No way. Fiend.
God.
Dude, where's my Earth, dude? Bro, where's my Earth? Where's your Earth, bro? Dude, where's my Earth, bro? Dude. iPhone was the perfect size to catch the view. This is uncropped, uncut with 8x zoom. There's their get out of jail free card. So if you say that this footage looks super pixelated and low quality, oh, well, it's because it's on 8x zoom. So that's why the low quality. It's because it's uncut and zoomed in. So that's why it looks so fake and shitty. See? Camera settings. The only reason that you think that it looks fake, you guys, is because you just don't know how cameras work. Duh! Why don't you learn how cameras work, stupid? Duh! What are you, a tard? What do you don't know how to work the same cameras that NASA works? You know how to work a phone? I don't even think you know how the camera settings work on a phone if you don't believe this. Stupid. Right? That's what they do. They'll have people literally make videos like that. This guy Jake is a tard. Learn how cameras work, moron. The reason why it looks so shitty is because it's 8x zoom. Stupid. This guy clearly doesn't know how camera settings work. He thinks that this footage is fake. What a freaking tard. Huh? Can you guys believe Jake the Awake thinks this is fake? Huh? He doesn't know how cameras work. He's crazy. That's the official excuse, you guys. You find anything wrong with any of their dog shit photos or video, well, it's because you don't understand the camera settings. Oh, yeah. And compression artifact. That's all they need. Those two excuses cover everything. Oh, you spotted a green screen glitch, did you? No, you didn't. It's compression artifact. So now you can't ever spot a green screen glitch ever again, bitch, because it's always going to be a compression artifact every time. Oh, you think you found something wrong with this footage? You think it looks a little pixelated? You think it looks like CGI? Well, you just don't know how the camera settings work because you're a stupid idiot moron flat earther. There. Now you can't ever point out anything wrong with any NASA picture or video ever. It's because I'll just repeat that you don't know how camera settings work, and I win and you lose. Right? That's it. That's all they need. Those two excuses. And in their minds, they defeat every flat earther forever. Any skeptic, camera settings, compression artifact. Ha! If you don't believe that, it's because you're a moron. Literally, that's the stance that they've taken. They got Simon Dan literally reading that script. R-Wise says, fake as funk. You can see the curvature so close up. Yes. They lined this up just perfectly with the iPhone. You know, after they got back from going around the moon and people asked how come they didn't have this iPhone footage. That's when they decided to produce this iPhone footage. How about that? They didn't produce this footage while they were on their way. No. They waited until after they got back just 2 days ago to show us this. That's how you know this is some damage control right here. This is some after they got back and felt the wrath of the public who didn't buy their bullshit. They're like, maybe we should produce a little bit of damage control. And then we'll have our professional globe cucks show this and shame anyone who doesn't believe in it. There you go. So that is the latest damage control coming out of NASA.
Dude. Whoa.
Rex James says, Jake, any chance Fittest Flat Earther and Brian from High Impact Flicks are the same person?
So, some people wonder if the only reason I'm able to see through these shapeshifters is because I too am a fallen angel. And lately, I'm actually beginning to wonder myself because I sort of look a lot like this other fella. He also makes videos exposing the truth. Looks a little bit like this guy, who looks a little bit like this guy. In fact, if you look at Brian's face and you look at my face, we're the same shapeshifter. In fact, right here, right now, I'm going to shapeshift into Brian, and I'm going to prove that fallen angels are real.
And I'm one of them. Hey guys, Brian here, and I just shapeshifted from Tyler Hansen into Brian just now. And that's how you know everything I'm saying is the truth, unlike what's on those Epstein files, which of course is a big distraction from the Artemis. Or actually, is Artemis a distraction from the Epstein files? I'm still trying to figure that out.
There you go. Brian in High Impact for Fittest Flat Earther in High Impact Flicks.
Hey guys, all of this is a huge distraction from the Epstein files. And right now, I'm going to shapeshift into Tyler Hansen.
Did you see it? It happens really fast. In fact, it's almost instantaneous. In fact, if you were to blink, you probably would have missed it.
All right. Hey, who's still having fun? You guys still having fun here tonight? I see the laughing emojis. Hopefully I made you guys laugh a few times tonight. Good times, good times. All right. So speaking of the moon, you know what I thought we would do? I thought tonight we would go back in time and watch a piece of an old video I did about a decade ago. Let's go back a decade. I made a video about the moon, and I asked a very important question about the moon's craters, like how come all the moon's craters are round, and did impacts on the moon from comets and asteroids, is that really what's causing the craters on the moon? And so I made a video where I personally debunk the notion of craters on the moon being caused by impacts. So here it is, an old video, moon craters debunked, 100% proof. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I did want to go back and show you guys. A decade ago, I was talking about the moon, debunking the craters on the moon.
Mainstream science will have you believe that the craters on the moon are due to impacts from meteors, comets, and asteroids. They will have you believe these thousands and thousands of circular craters which cover the moon's surface are all due to impacts. Now, anyone who wants to make sure that this information is correct can Google craters on the moon, and they will tell you straight away, lunar craters are impact craters on the Earth's moon. The moon's surface has many craters, almost all of which were formed by impacts. So when I zoom in on the moon and I take a close look, I can see all these circular craters, which they say are from impacts. My question is, if all these space rocks are flying in at different angles, not just 90-degree angles, where are the impact marks which create digs and canyons and trails? Shouldn't there be meteors and comets and asteroids coming in at various angles, all sorts of various angles, which should be hitting from the side and creating canyons, dig marks, scrapes, gouges? Are we to believe all of these meteor impacts are coming in at 90-degree angles? We should be seeing marks like this on the moon. Like I said, dig marks or scratches, scrapes, if you will, caused by meteors coming in at an angle. I can find images.
All right. So I was basically posing the question that, like, how come all the craters on the moon are round? And the mainstream science explanation is that meteors and comets pelted the moon over millions of years, billions of years, whatever, and that all of the craters are from impacts. And so I was asking the question, how come none of the comets or meteors caused scrapes and digs if they're coming in from different angles, right? Because you don't see a comet come out of the sky straight downward, right, at a 90-degree angle. You've never seen a meteor shooting across the sky straight downward and then smack the ground. So that means if these comets and meteors, whatever, are coming in at various angles, they shouldn't be causing round holes, round impacts. They should be causing dig marks and trenches, right? So I have a super chat that came in from LaFleur Network. He says, "Holy space balls!" And I think I missed this one from earlier. So my bad missing your super chat earlier, Davey D. I appreciate it, buddy. And got a super chat from True Metal Jake. He says, have you ever tried to take a video out of an airplane window with an iPhone? Always glare and smears and shit. Why not on that video? Camera settings, idiot. Yeah, man. like I said, if you have a problem with any of their images right now, their get out of jail free card excuse is, it's the camera settings. And you just don't know about it because you don't know about cameras, right? So, yeah, man, it's almost pointless to try and point out their fakery and show it to any non-believers to try and wake them up, because NASA will have an excuse for everything, and they'll just parrot the excuse that satisfies. So, yeah, man, their excuses don't even have to be good. It just has to be an excuse, and then they'll repeat it. As long as there is an excuse given, they'll repeat that excuse. Doesn't even have to be good. Cactus Jack wants me to do Q-tard accidentally coming out of the closet.
So I showed my true natural urges piece of shit when I made Jake talk about having sex with animals with the AI. It is because that is actually what I am projecting, my inner thoughts, piece of shit. I actually have sick, perverted thoughts, and that is why I project those sick, perverted thoughts onto Jake, because I am a true piece of shit.
D-Cran says, Trump assuring the American public that Ralph is actually Lassie from the 60s TV show. So I got to tell you, some people think that that I'm getting old, and they're wondering if I still have the ability to run this country. Let me tell you, I'm quicker and sharper than ever. There's never been a president quite like yours truly. And that is why I'm going to show you an example right now. I'm going to show you an example right now of what Lassie from the classic television show, what a purebred collie looks like. This, of course, is a purebred collie. This is the world famous Lassie right here. Now, some people might get confused and say, you're off your rocker, you're old. It's clearly a beagle puppy. It's definitely not Lassie. Those people don't know what they're talking about. I assure you from the bottom of my heart, I would never lie. You're looking at a collie. This is the one and only Lassie. This is the one that saved Timmy from the well. All right, that's a very strange request for me to bring to life, but that's what you wanted. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I don't know why Trump would be talking about my dog and wanting to say he's Lassie, but that's what you wanted, bro. So that's what you got. Out of all the things, Rex James says, Jake, can you do Asmongold finding out it was Artemis 2 that actually took out Charlie Kirk? Have you guys seen this? This is freaking crazy. Seriously, what in the actual fuck? Did Artemis 2? Did Artemis 2 kill Charlie? No. That can't be. I thought it was Erica. Was Erica in on Artemis 2? Taking out Charlie? This is seriously crazy, you guys. How's anyone supposed to keep up with this? Artemis 2? And that's how Charlie died? I don't even know how that's possible. Yeah, there you go. I don't know how that would be possible either. I would be just as confused as Asmongold if that happened. That's actually my reaction as well. I have a similar reaction as Asmongold to finding that out. Zebrish says, so Earth is not pear-shaped. I personally don't believe Earth is a sphere or an oblate spheroid. I don't believe Earth is shooting through outer space. In fact, I don't believe in the concept of outer space. So thank you, ZBrush, for asking the question. And in my personal opinion, no, it is not pear-shaped. And furthermore, Neil deGrasse Tyson is full of shit, man. Yeah. RY says, Mag, there is no Ralphie. You need to wake up. Let me tell you something, people. There's no such thing as a Ralphie. He's an animatronic robot. Jake, he's an agent. He's working for the government, and they give him an animatronic robot to get donations from the people. There's no dog that's that cute, people. You need to wake yourself up right now. The reason they give this man what appears to be a cute dog is to tug on your heartstrings, get you to send the donations. Let me tell you something, people. You need to wake yourself up right now. He's not a real Ralphie. He's an animatronic robot dog. It's very demonic, people. You need to wake your ass up right now. I'm going to hit you with the bam. I'm gone. That's right. He's a animatronic robot dog used to be so cute to trick people into to giving me donations, right? That's what it is. All right. I think we've caught up on super chats. So check it out, guys. So in order to test the theory of what would happen to the surface of the moon or any surface if it was hit with flying rocks or flying objects from various degrees, what I decided to do was shoot my pellet gun into the ground from various angles to show you guys that impacts coming in from various angles don't cause round holes over and over again.
Produced by Hollywood, which demonstrate this, where a meteor comes in at an angle and makes a big giant gouge, right? And digs deeper and deeper into the earth as it hits. Well, in this case, we should be seeing these marks on the moon, except we don't. And if you even type in meteor impact marks, all they show you is a bunch of images of meteor crater in Arizona and a bunch of circular impact marks. I can't even find the right verbiage. I put meteor impact trails, and then they show me trails left behind a meteor in the sky. So I can't find any actual images to display this in real life. All I could find were these Hollywood images of meteors coming in at an angle and making these gouges, scrapes, trails, whatever you want to call them. The only images I could find of this were CGI images created on a computer.
Yeah, so you don't see the moon covered in marks like this, right? Where something came in at an angle and created like a dig mark, right? But it should be covered in marks like this. If all these space rocks are hitting the moon from all these angles, then how come we don't see trenches and dig marks on the moon and we see nothing but round craters?
Now, I found this highly puzzling that I couldn't find any real life examples of this that weren't created on a computer. So then when I look at the moon and I'm asking myself, where are these impact trails, impact ditches, if you will? They simply don't exist. So we have to then at this point, being that science, mainstream science, is telling us that all these impact craters are coming from space rocks slamming into the moon, we have to then ask ourselves, is it theoretically even possible for the moon to be getting hit by space rocks, all of which are entering at a 90-degree angle, to make these circular craters?
So all we see are round craters. We don't see dig marks, trenches, canyons that were created by incoming space rocks from various angles. So the accepted mainstream science answer is that every crater on the moon is from an impact. a space rock slamming into the moon. However, ever since humans have been alive, we've never seen an instance where a space rock slams into the moon and creates a big new crater for us to see. We never see the moon get taken over by a plume of moon dust because a space rock slammed into it and kicked up a bunch of dust. You would think over all the time that humans have been alive that we would have seen instances of the moon getting pelted with space rocks, and then there's a new fresh crater there for us to see. But no, apparently all these impacts already happened long ago, and we never get to see any new impacts. But they want you to believe all those round craters are from impacts. So I pose the question, what if these craters are not from impacts and are something entirely different that don't have anything to do with space rocks hitting the moon at all?
Because it seems to me, or any logical thinking person, that these meteors, comets, and asteroids are going to be coming in at all sorts of angles, various angles. If the moon is orbiting the Earth, and the Earth is orbiting the sun, and the sun is shooting through space, and all of these unfathomable speeds that they say we're going, that means the moon should be getting hit by space rocks from every angle imaginable. And for it to make only circular craters would be a physical impossibility. So at this point, I will now demonstrate through a actual physical experiment that you cannot physically have nothing but circular craters on the moon if they are all due to impacts. We should be seeing gouges, scrapes, ditches, canyons that are being dug out by sideways, angular, incoming impacts.